everybody. Welcome to my channel. Greetings and salutations, as my dear mother would say. I welcome you to a new you, holistic wellness. Excuse me, my name is Antonita. I am your oracle reader, your spiritualist, your healer, your testimonial, I'm here for it. I welcome you to my channel. We've done a few readings today. I suspect this will be the last one. If you will, if you find some enjoyment in this video, I ask that you like it, share it, subscribe to the station, to the channel. I must finna be on TV or radio or something. Subscribe to my station. I receive it. I don't know who this message for. It's whoever it's for. You know, one thing, I think that's kind of one of the things, too, where I was struggling with my other channels. Trying to do it like I saw other people doing it. And that shit was just not working for me. Like, it really wasn't. I was like, every time I wanted to get on video, trying to assign the message to somebody. Like, oh, this is for Libras. Oh, this is for Sagittarius. Or this is for whatever sign. And, you know, it just, you know, I did it, but it became a force, like I said. So now I'm understanding why it didn't continue and I didn't show up every day to do what I know that I was supposed to be doing, like what was in me to do. Well, there you go. I had to release what everybody else was doing and do my own thing. So it's going to be a release in somebody's life. A release in old ways, old thought patterns, old connections, a place of release, opening up for the new. This man is exposing himself. When you release all the ideologies and the ways you should be, it's like a shedding, a tearing off, a removing of the cloak. You know what I'm saying? The removing. And like, I'm finna take this thing off because I am hot. This yoni steam thing, it's designed to keep you warm when you're doing your steaming, baby. It's working. So let me pause y'all for a minute and I'll be back. I'm about to release this thing. For real. Okay, I'm back. I had to real quick, too. I had to change because, I was hot. Good God. And look what I went to put on. Speaking of signs, my Sagittarius girl shirt. I spoke to my sister friend that gave this to me earlier, too. But, yeah, Saggy in the building, December 6th, representing. And, whew, I had to release that gown. But, yeah, the card that we have is about release. Shedding the cloak, shedding the covering, you know what I'm saying? Really getting down to your true self. Shedding down to your naked body, to your birthday suit. Being naked and not ashamed. Man, we was talking about evolution on the other two videos, or a few videos that I did. And just getting to the root, like just shedding it all. Evolving, releasing old ideologies, old thought patterns, old habits and ways of doing things. I mean, some of us have been doing something the same way for the last 30, 40, 50 years. And there's been no evolution, no change, no growth. And that's okay if you don't want growth or change or evolution. That's fine. But if that's something that you are seeking, you got to come naked and not ashamed. You got to remove the cloak, the heaviness, the burdens, the weights. This card is saying release it. The way you doing it has been a burden. The blessings of the Lord maketh rich and added no sorrow. And I'll share this too. Again, for those of you who are not familiar with me and my background, I came out of Christianity. So a lot of my experience and things that I share with you is because of that experience. It's associated with that experience because it's very much connected to, this place and state of being today. Excuse me. So with that being said, I had to be okay with releasing the old in order to find the new, a new you. To really get to the root of it, I had to be willing to let go everything that I knew, everything that I was familiar with, everything that I was associated with and connected to. I had to be willing to release it and let it go. That meant pulling it all off, taking back all them layers, getting to the bottom underneath. Remove the heaviness and the burden. Christianity for me was heaviness. It was a burden. There was no consistent joy. You know what I'm saying? I had not found that peace. And that's why I was like, well, God, if your word be true, this is adding sorrow to my life in a lot of ways. And evolution began. So this card is for those who carrying the weight. You get to a place where you just like, you get tired. And I sense that that's where you may be. And I say you because if you have tuned in right now, you were led here for a reason. So you, we, you get to a place where you get tired. You get tired of carrying the weight and the heavy load. And that's when you finally come to that place of full release. You just fuck it and let it all go. I was speaking to somebody earlier today and they were sharing with me that, when you get to a certain place in life, it's just some things a certain age, it's just some things you don't want to have to be concerned about. You don't want to be making life decisions at 60, 70 years old. That's the time for you to really be, enjoying this life. I mean, I feel like you should be enjoying it every day, but again, we go on and do what they told us to do, and that's work until we 60 and die at 65. Or work till we 65 and die at 70. You got 5 years to enjoy your fucking life. I'm here today to help us try to get to a place where, we enjoy every aspect of life every day. Not working to retire and then, live a few years. Nah, man, I want to live every day of this life. You know what I'm saying? You got to release and let go and shed the layers. Release the cloak. And when I see him doing that, I see him just really being at a place of just full release. Like, you know what? I just give up the ghost. I let it go. I'm tired. I don't want to carry it no more. I'm just tired. So the person that I was speaking with, because they're at a time in their life where, certain life decisions have to be made. They've been kind of carrying and holding on to things, trying to, accomplish all that they didn't accomplish early on in their life. But now at a time where, that they're in their 70s, they like, the fuck? What am I holding on to? Like, this shit is serving me no purpose. A lot of the shit that we hold on to serves us zero purpose. And a lot of it we be knowing. I know it's itching. That it serves absolute zero purpose in our life. But we hold it on to it for fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of letting go. But I'm telling you, every time you release, there's a newness, there's a new beginning. Every time that there's a downfall and a breaking and a tearing apart, there's a rebuilding stage, you know? It tears down for a reason. When a building collapses, the structure and foundation was all wrong. It buckled. You got to get the foundation right. Excuse me. You got to get to the root, to the core. Pull all this shit back and get to the root. Your natural state. Get to that natural state of being. Release all these notions that you got to be this, you got to be that. You got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. Get to the root of your natural being, the core of who you really are. Release it. Let go. I'm telling you, fuck that shit. Like, for real, fuck that shit. Excuse me. It's so much freedom in just doing you, according to you and your own standards and not somebody else's. What? I encourage you today to release. Release the way that they told you you were supposed to act, the way that they told you you were supposed to speak. If it don't feel good and it don't resonate with you, that's the way it's supposed to be, then don't sign up and affirm that shit in your life. Like, for real, so many of us bring on and carry weights and burdens that are unnecessary. When we is just tired. I don't want to fucking do it that way no more, because I'm sorry, that way don't make me happy. This is why I was called rebellious in the church and kicked out of that metaphysics. Because I always questioned everything. Like, I questioned everything. When I say they hated me in the church, they hated me. That's why I got sat down so many times and relieved of my duties for the week or whatever. That ain't really too much do me like that, though, because homie didn't play that. I don't give a because I don't care about these titles and ish and position. I don't care about none of that. I just want to know the truth. What is the truth? And what they was giving me, I wasn't receiving as truth. It just did not resonate. So, okay, that's cool. It's true for you. It's not true for me. I'm out. So I went on a journey to find truth for myself. But when I tell you, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. It took so much courage to really just release and denounce Christianity as a whole. Like, it took so much. I remember like it was like it just happened. I remember asking my spirit, like, you know, at that time, God, like, if Jesus ain't real, like, what the fuck? I literally said, what do I believe? And my spirit spoke to me and said, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Now that fucked me up though, because for me at that time, my connection to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit was all connected to Christianity. And that meant I really do believe in Jesus. Like, but I was really fighting at that time on believing, because I had gotten to a place, I had done so much research and reading, and, you know, my spirit was just like, disassociating with everything that was connected to Christianity. And, I didn't read up on Islam and the 5%ers and Hinduism and chakra balancing and Reiki healing and all kind of stuff. And guess what? I use all of that because all of that is so a part of me. It all resonated in some way. So I'll never deny it all. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's all a part of that evolution. See the other video on evolution that talk about the sum of all the parts, and the complex parts. There's so many parts to this spirituality thing and this journey that we often forget. And we believe there's just one way to skin a cat. And it's oftentimes the way that they told us it was supposed to be done. I encourage you to release today. Release all the notions and things that don't align with your spirit. Everything. Even down to the simplest shit. If you know you're not a morning person, don't sign up for no job that started at 5 a.m. And then wonder why you late every day. Then wonder why your supervisor wrote you up with her stinking ass. I can't stand that bitch. Bitch always on me, always writing me up, always messing with me about something. When you know. There's rules in place, baby. You gotta follow them. And if you don't want to, create your own lane. Get the fuck on up out of there. Simple as that. But while you there, you know what I'm saying? Don't question why you getting rolled up every other week when you late 3 out of 5 days a week. And then say she don't like you. What? No, she just sick of your ass. She just sick of you. She wants you to come in and do your job, what you getting paid to do, and be here the whole 8 hours. Not taking no hour and 40-minute lunch when you only get an hour. 3 times a week. You just push it to the limit every day. She's sick of your ass. So don't question when you're constantly in the supervisor's office or getting written up or eventually terminated. And now you're late on your bills because that bitch didn't like you and made you lose your job. And now your rent late. And now you got a late fee for your rent. And your landlord know he could have let you get by this month. Why? He got bills too. What you want him to tell his landlord? These are things we don't consider. We always want to lay the blame though. You gotta release that shit. And really own and acknowledge your truth. Release. It ain't your manager's fault. It ain't your landlord's fault for evicting you. It's your fault for not being responsible and making wise decisions and choices for your life. It's your fault for not considering the consequences of your actions. And if you did, then own them. That's cool. That's cool. So, release it. And that might mean something completely different for somebody else. You know, you might be dealing with something, but you know what you need to release. Cheating. Stealing. Manipulating somebody. like intentional manipulation. Mm-mm. What card in my book at? Yeah. Let me see if there's anything else Spirit would have you. Oh, well, it was something that just pointed out to me. This is a major arcana card. So that means that this release is connected to something major in your life that has that can have a major impact on your life. So we're not talking about just I don't know what would be a small release, but major impact. I see definitely spiritual awareness coming into light. Once you release the old ways and patterns, there's really a great enlightening and awakening that takes place. A real transformation. And like I said, there's great freedom in releasing. Yeah, like I said, something very close to you, an affair of the heart, something very close to you. When you release, a lot of times we've been covered up and all of this stuff, but when you release and let go, you can see what's really underneath. With all the clothing on, all the cloak and things you can't really see. But when you release and get to the root of it, you can really see what's there. And what really belongs to you, what's really yours, what you really truly deserve. Holding on tightly to things that we love when the love is not returned. It's time to release. You hold on so tight, there's no room to breathe. No room for growth, no room for evolution and maturity. Are you restricting someone or trying to attract someone through your will? Discard any need for control and see how the relationship transforms. Watch how releasing the overwhelming need for a relationship allows the perfect one to appear. Mm-hmm. You can't will nobody to love you, I tell you that. For sure. If you are trying to will and force somebody to love you, I admonish you to release it and let go of that notion so that you are open to attract to you what you deserve. You know who's really connected to you. Shed any beliefs and behaviors that do not serve your highest good. I'll go back to just my own personal story with Christianity. There were a lot of beliefs and behaviors that I felt was not serving my highest good. I felt like I was more stuck than living. You know what I'm saying? For me, there really was no real fruitfulness, no real wealth, no real evolution. Same spot every year, year after year, year after year. Throughout life, we receive many mixed and often incorrect messages about how relationships should work. Let go of any preconceived notions or expectations about your relationships or lack of them. Let me go let this dog in. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Letting go of any preconceived notions or expectations about your relationship or lack of them. By doing so, your current relationships can flow and flourish in a way that is best for everyone. By being yourself, you also attract to the relationship that Also attract the relationship that will serve you best. Um, a personal story, as they all are. When I got married, I think a lot of us have preconceived notions of what marriage is supposed to be like and how it's supposed to go and this, that, and the other. And everything was supposed to just align perfectly. Well, honey, I don't know about nobody else's life, but in my life, that ain't how it happened. Shit aligned, but I also came to a place and an awareness that what I thought marriage really was, it wasn't. And whatever that thought or belief was, and whatever the way I thought it was supposed to be, and the same for my husband. You know, we both had an understanding of what marriage was, and whether it came from what we saw when we were growing up, you know, to what we saw on TV, to what we saw in church, and what we see in everyday society. A lot of that, you know, formed our opinions and values of what marriage and relationship is supposed to be like. However, baby, let me just say this. We didn't have to release, understand? We didn't have to let go of some notions and things that just didn't align. They did not align for my marriage, you know, and for the soul that I was connected with, you know, for eternity. It did not align. So I had to be strong enough and have enough courage to really release that, and releasing the fear of control. Some of us want to be in control so bad, but that ain't the way. You cannot force or will anybody to love you. You cannot force your way upon anybody. It has to be a coming together of the two. A coming together of the two. You know, I had to release the notion of what I thought marriage was, honey, and be okay with some things that I said I would never be okay with, and you know, just redoing it, figuring it out, reconfiguring it. You know what marriage is for me. I had to come out of a storybook ideology of what marriage was and live in my reality. That's if I wanted to keep my marriage and to have a healthy marriage, you know. And that's for you too. A lot of times we be like I said earlier, that's just me. That's just how I am. Okay, well that's just how you gonna be by yourself. Or in without that current situation. But if you want that situation, you may need to make some changes and adjustments. And if not, then you can move on and, you know, be by yourself and wait till the next one come along. That's perfectly fine too. And nobody's saying, I'm not encouraging you to stay somewhere where there is no healthy love and not a healthy exchange. That's not what I'm suggesting. But I am suggesting that whomever you invite into your life and connect with on a soul level, that you need to be open to what is and release all other notions and ideas of what maybe, should be, could be, but really just deal with what is. You feel me? Not trying to create what is, should be. I'll be like, baby, you got to deal with this right here, right now. And I'm going to tell you something that most people are not going to really agree with me about on this, but it's so real. because it's such a sensitive topic that nobody really wants to deal with it. Um, let's just say, you met your spouse, your partner, you was 100 pounds lighter. Well, now that you've gained a significant amount of weight, your partner is necessarily, I won't say not attracted to you, but there's definitely a desire to see you in a different light. For instance, like how they met you. Like, I mean, you just have to freaking honor that. You have to honor that. They don't know this new you. They're not familiar with this new you. And honest to God, it may not even be personal. The weight just may not be attractive. I mean, people have a right to like what they like. People have a right to love what they love. If they like flat booty, no chest, that's their prerogative. And now you got all kind of ass and hips and tits and rows and goals, and want to be like, love me as I am. But that wasn't what you was when I met you. Love me as I am. And baby, this ain't got nothing to do with your love, with their love for you. Nothing. And that's where I feel like a lot of we don't disassociate. We connect the two. That ain't got nothing to do with love. But them love handles I don't love. For one, again, I'm going to catch so much slack for this. But I'm not. Y'all believe what you want to believe, because I ain't going to catch nothing. Because it is what it is. But, you think about it. If we just be real and honest with ourselves, if we are really at a healthy state and balance in life, our health is in control. That means that our weight is in control. It's attractive to see somebody who has life in control, who has a grasp on things. Like, there's nothing fucking wrong with that. Especially if your partner themselves are into healthy living and they've got it under control. And this ain't about, well, if he loved me, he would help me. And you better help yourself. Get up off your ass and do it yourself. And because what happens is you'll attract, because if your partner is for you, he's for you. So when you're up and moving in, doing what you're supposed to do, and they see that, I mean, it's going to be innately inclined to help you. And half of them probably already are trying to help you. Even though it's not their responsibility, it's really not. Like, when we own that, it ain't nobody's else's responsibility to bring healing to our lives. That's your life. You're responsible for that. You are whole responsible for your own life and well-being. The people that we are connected to in our lives, we are connected, they are merely, a support, a help, like the Bible say, a help meet. But they're not responsible for your happiness. Going back to the whole weight thing. Everybody got a right to be attracted to what they attracted to. Like, and the same goes for if you was real thick when you met your husband or your spouse, whatever. And then all of a sudden, you like a $105. The nigga like, that shit ain't cute. That don't mean he don't love you, boo. That mean he's not attracted to this new you, and he has a right to be that way. And if it's something that's out of control, then you need to really own it and get control of it. Again, this ain't got nothing to do with love. Like I said, if we be honest, when we are at places of unhealthy weight, it's other stuff going on that's not contributing to us actually committing to the health aspects of our lives. You know what I'm saying? That's not committed to being healthy. Somewhere we're lacking on giving ourselves the love that we deserve. Somewhere we're lacking in showing up for ourselves every single day. Please don't misunderstand me. I get life, trust. I get life. But a lot of things we blame and we have control of. And we need to release all those old ways of blaming and living where we're not acknowledging our own bullshit and where we're not acknowledging what really got us in a situation and why we're there and why we remain in unhealthy relationships. See, this little raggedy niglet then came back here. The dogs be out there fighting and tearing they flea collars off of each other. And I promise you, like, immediately you see the difference. Like, what the? If you got a dog and they got fleas, flea collars really work. Or you want to prevent them, they really work. I be like, I'm so sick of y'all. Because I'm seeing fleas flying around. I just brought them in the house. Wasn't no issue before. On my last break, I called my husband, told him to bring a flea collar because I'm sick of them. But anyway, just releasing the old notions, the things that don't serve you, serve your highest good, releasing them and let go. So like I was saying, if I wanted to continue in this marriage and with a healthy exchange with my husband, there were some things that I had to release. My understanding of what marriage should be and how it's supposed to work, I had to release. So I'm about to release this message. Major Arcana, though, is about to be a major release. Some of y'all been fighting with this decision. Let it go. I let go of expectations and open myself to relationships that flow and grow. I mean, because that's really what you want anyway. Don't you want a relationship that's flourishing and growing? But yet you holding on to this shit that ain't serving your highest good. Like every day it's a struggle with this nigga. Ain't you tired? Every day you realize how much you deserve and how much you're not getting. Major release. This is a major Arcana card. This is actually the Death card, where there's about to be a real ending, a hardcore ending, something very close to you, you know. But know that every time that there is a death, there's a rebirth, a renewing. And this is really about a rebirth period. A new you, a rebirth, a renewing, a new mindset, a clear head, a new, not even just a new way of thinking, but just a new attitude. You know, a refreshing. You get up and you just got a new attitude about life every day. This is about coming to that place. Let that shit go. Whatever you've been holding on to, whatever grudges you hold on to, somebody that made you mad and pissed you off, and you just ain't gonna let it go. You've been sent here today to be told to release. You know, and it's all about choices and decisions. The things that you desire to manifest in your life, you got to make the choices to do that. Otherwise, you're going to continue to manifest what you've been manifesting. And I'll use a prime example, and this is a very personal and close um, revelation concerning release. As I've mentioned before, and some of you may know, my relationship with my mother growing up and all of my adult life has been, in and out, up and down, rocky, shaky. It's been all that shit. Like, niggas been through it, okay? But, I held a grudge for the longest. I blamed my mama for a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that I felt like she needed to own up to and did not. But I had to come to a place of release concerning that. Because one, it wasn't serving my highest good. And it came down to a decision of, what do you really want? Do you want to continue to walk in this space of grudge and really not having your mother in your life? Do you really not want to have your mother in your life? Is that what you really want? Is that what you really want to manifest? Well, yeah, if that's what you want, then you can sit here and hold this grudge and go on about what you deserve and this, that, and the other. That's cool. That's cool. Ain't nobody saying you wrong for that. That's cool. But if you want to manifest and desire, if it's that you desire to have a healthy, strong, and fruitful relationship with your mother and a healthy exchange, then that's exactly what you have to put out there. You can't continue the toxic cycle with her. So I had to release. I had to let the fuck go. It didn't matter why she did the things she did. It didn't matter why she said the things that she said. All that mattered was my response to it. And when you love somebody, you walk in compassion. And that's not to say I'm not telling nobody. I ain't never encouraging nobody to sit back and receive abuse. That is not what I'm saying. But there's a way that you resolve conflict, especially when you love somebody. Healing for me was healing for me involved this release and the notion that I had to be right, and my mama had to own up to all the shit that she did to me, because she was wrong. She was out of order. I had to, release all of that, because I ultimately wanted my mother in my life. And so in order to manifest that, I had to put everything out there that would. It didn't matter that she wasn't there yet, maybe, or that she wasn't responding the way that I felt that she should to the things that I was saying. None of that mattered. All that mattered was my position and my actions and my response to her. Whenever there was something shared in exchange, I didn't have to, reciprocate it. Really, all I had to do was show love, because at some point, that's all it became. It became pure love for my mother. And so that's exactly what I gave. There was no more bitterness, no more hurt. You know what I'm saying? It just became pure love and compassion. And, you get to a place where, people is leaving this earth daily. And you just don't know who's going to leave your life and when it's going to be the last day that, you are with somebody. And I know that my mother's days on this earth are not, she's got less days than she's got, more of, if that makes sense. And with that being said, I just wanted to take advantage of every one of those days, hours, months, and years that she does have left. I did not want to spend it holding a grudge or feeling like she owed me an apology, or, you know what I'm saying? I simply wanted to really catch up on everything that I missed out on. And I got to a place where I realized that I released the notion of receiving that and getting back all those years that I missed. You know what I'm saying? And really just building from right here, right now, where we are. And I began to see excuse me, the more that I opened up to my mother in that way and just began to show love, she began to reciprocate it back. Because when you love on somebody, it's only so much animosity they're going to be able to present to you without one, them sitting back and it eating them up themselves. It's just only so much that they're going to be able to move and operate in when you ain't showing nothing but love. Because when you put love out there, love is going to naturally be what you receive back. You reap what you sow, the law of attraction. It's all kind of laws that we can break down and say for that, but I think that's a generalized received notion, accepted notion. So, with that, again, I say it's about your decisions, what you want. What is it that you want to manifest? Release the things that don't align with the things that you desire. Release the things that are not, that don't serve your highest good. That grudge and that animosity was not serving my highest good at all. All right, I'm out. Again, I'm finna release this message. I used to listen to this one lady, and I promise I'm just like her. She be just said 10 times she finna go on the message. And when I say her messages became like, her messages, some of them, her readings is like 2.5, 3 hours. And at one point in life, I was there. But, so I know when it's the message for you. That's why I don't really trip. But at the same time, I do want to, display some brevity in my messages. Because sometimes you just need that quick hit. But I don't know, Spirit just be having some shit for y'all. So I'm just going to talk and give it to you. And I'm so glad, let me just say this. I'm so glad this is the fruitfulness of release. So that's why I want to share it with you. I am so glad that I released the notion that I had to have this idea perfectly laid out before I presented it to you, before I came to you. I released the notion that I had to do it like other people was doing it. Like I said, that just was not working for me. I was trying to attach who the message was for. Okay, this for the Libras, this for the Sagittarius, this for the... That shit wasn't working for me. I ain't saying nothing wrong with it. Do you? But that wasn't my message and my flow. So if Spirit tell me this message for somebody, that's how it's going to be. But as of right now, it's a universal message and flow. And if you've been attracted to this channel for this very message, then it's for you. Whether you're a Sagittarius, Libra, Gemini, what have you. But, I do understand the astrological signs and things that they offer us. But I cannot say that that's something that I really, like I flow in. I get it, though. I get it. Maybe one day it'll be a different flow right there. But, I had to do what resonated with me and release what, I saw everybody else doing. Shit. Like I said, shout out to Afia, my sister, for giving me the courage to do it that way. Because I'm telling you, I watched that sister do it her way. And I know it was, it was unconventional according to, the world standards and shit. And that I'm sure she received flack from a lot of people. Known and unknown. But I watched her continuing to move forward in who she was and doing it by her own spirit, vibe, and flow. I'm telling you. And that's exactly what I've decided and am choosing to do. Like, it's at a point where I can't. Like, I couldn't. I just couldn't do it no more. Like, this shit ain't working. It was no flow there. It was nothing. And I'm going to tell you, since I just been flowing, I've been flowing. But I had to release first. When that shit ain't adding up, it's not resonating, it's for a reason. Release. This is the whole death card. Like, that's major. Spirit is really tapping you hard. Release it. All right, I'm out, y'all. I'm releasing this message for the 10th time. Anjuanita with A New You Holistic Wellness. Subscribe, like, share. Oh, yeah, if you want to give a donation, I'm Manifesting Miracles Cash App. Just one M with the I'm Manifesting. IMANIFESTING Miracles. I Manifesting Miracles. I love you. Thank you. I'll continue to give. every day. You know, one of my things is as long as God continues to bless me, I continue to bless his people. I bless you people. Blessings and release.